Hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say I didn't see our video on X on the main platform. It's just only in the circle. Normally it's on the main platform. If you look into that, you'll see what I mean. It's you can't like it. Please check that out. Yeah, we need to fix that somehow, Joe. That's not right.
I mean, it's at the top of the feed that I can see, and you can
I can't.
You can heart it. It's just not playing live for
No,
some
I
reason.
can't. I can't do what I normally do to promote the show.
Oh.
You can click it, but if you click it, open live video, you have to click and open live video.
Yeah.
I can't like it. I can't share it. I can't.
Well, you
I
do
can't
that.
make
You do
comments
that
off
from
of
the
it.
actual main feed instead of going into the video. You can do that from the main feed.
No, there's no video to do it from the main feed. Nope.
Very tough.
No, we need to be like how we normally are.
I understand. Most of those you can always reach
Like if somebody goes to our page,
the first post is the
I know, but that's
yeah. It's not normal. You're right. I don't know what happened. I didn't change anything on X for sure.
people aren't able to find it as easy.
Yeah, there might be a glitch or something today. I don't know.
What?
Well, every once in a while,
No,
Facebook
just-
finally started showing us their streaming now instead of sending data. So there's always glitches with the website. Somebody does an update, it screws something up. Yeah, Greg says they might be having a problem with their flux capacitor.
Now's not the time for jokes.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Not from you, Greg. Greg's a great guy. He just doesn't know when to stop, right, Greg? Actually, Greg doesn't know he shouldn't start. Hey guys, welcome to the show before the show. Greg, Tanya, Michelle, Karen, Ben. Morning all. Good morning, guys. Hey, share the show. Let people know what we're doing. If you're not following us on all of our platforms, please do. X, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube. We're on all 4 live. Hey, Joe, I'm sending you another little, it's from JD Vance at Quantico, okay? This is just a hype video.
Okay.
I'll let you know if we play it.
Right.
The other one, we are.
Okay.
It's opening day for a lot of baseball cities around America. The season has started already, but, in St. Louis, opening day, when the Cardinals used to be good and had good ownership and leadership, people cared. Now ownership has done what they've done to our team. We broadcast live out of the St. Louis, Missouri area, of course. If you couldn't tell. Hey guys, go Blues. Yeah, Tanya. One of the two hottest teams in the NHL. Greg says, I found you guys on a Roku app while checking on my app. The app is called Tune In, plays the last show first, no live. Yeah. Yeah, I did that with a guy about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. If you can show us how to make money with it, that would be amazing. Yes, we're all over the place. We're just glad to get out to as many people as possible. Glad you guys are with us as we get ready to start the show. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right, let's do it. Caw-caw. That was funny. That was good. That's good stuff. Are we starting now?
It just wants to keep loading.
Joe, my man, what are we doing?
I don't even know anymore.
Joseph.
I don't know why the intro music will not work.
Joe, what's up with all the issues, Joe?
It's like a Monday gremlin thing.
If you drank, see, I'm gonna blame. We got to blame somebody. If you were a drinker, I'd say you're drunk. Did you take any gummies this morning?
I did not. I should have.
You don't have your gummy luck.
All right. Well,
we're like in Garth's basement right now.
It really. There we go. Here we go. Well.
Boy, we got to get that started. Joe, the music's bad. Oh my God. Blame it on Greg. Greg's got that face and that attitude where you just like want to smack it. It's like whack-a-mole, like a little Greg popping up.
He's lovable.
No, we'll blame it on somebody. Guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Pro Joe behind the scenes. Glad you're with us on a Thursday. Eric Johnson on his way in as well. It is great to be an American. It is 2025. Life has changed. Politics have changed. Good policy is in, and we are grateful you're with us. Mike, thanks every day for getting the YouTubers going. Let's have a great day by hitting and liking and sharing the show. We are grateful for it. Yeah, cheap viewers on Streambo. I'm sorry, I see that all the time. And by the way, there are shows, they buy their viewers. They buy their likes. I refuse to do it. I've never done it. Oh, I've got 20,000 likes. I've got 20. Do you really? Well, let's look at your chat line. How organic is that? So I see somebody pop that up. Cheap viewers on Streambo. Yeah, and they're fake. They're fake, aren't they, Joe? They're fake.
Yes, they are.
We don't do the fake stuff. And if people want to do it, more power to them. We are the original. We are doing things the right way. We are black and white. And if you guys want to be involved with the show or know anybody from a business standpoint that wants to, email me, Vic at canceltheshow.com. Thank you for the donations. Tanya, give us a nice donation this morning. Thank you so much. Any amount helps. Any amount helps. If somebody wants to donate $1 million, fantastic. We'll take it. We'll use it. We will do broadcasting all day long. We'll hire a big staff. If somebody wants to donate $25, fantastic. It'll be good. That'll buy Joe his weed, and then everybody can be happy.
And the music can be good.
And the music can be good. Hey, we're just grateful that this country's on the right path. Eric Johnson on his way into studio as well. Coming up, America Nabs, one of the top leaders of MS-13. Notorious gang. One of the two you hear about as being the most violent in the world, along with Tren de Agua. Also, Donald Trump dealing with these lower court judges who are filing these injunctions. And then, oh yeah, we're going to continue to give these cases to a ultra liberal evil judge named Boasberg. We'll get into that. I've been on this story from the get-go when it comes to NPR. How they're fake news, how they're all liberal. Remember the 98 employees in their newsroom, all liberal, not one conservative. They get a lot of money on a yearly basis. I lost my sheet. If somebody can look that up for us, because you guys are the best podcast platform, how much do they get funded per year? Well, Representative Brandon Gill put their leader on the hot seat yesterday, and it was crazy. Caroline Leavitt again proving why she is the biggest badass when it comes to being White House press secretary. Because you see right now the Democrats created this whole story with Signal. And, oh my God, you're on Signal and you're talking about classified. No, it was all fake. It was all a lie. None of that was done. And you'll hear the leaders talk about that. Yet all they want to talk about is that, because there's nothing they got to create. They got to manufacture drama. We all know somebody in our life around us who has to create drama, manufacture drama. Yeah, well, that's what the Democrats are now, because things are going too well. Also, J.D. Vance, we'll take a look back at his trip to Quantico yesterday. All military recruiting on the rise. Yeah, of course, everything is good. Everything is good. We haven't heard from CIA Director Ratliff yet, but he'll weigh in on that whole Signal deal. So will Tulsi Gabbard. There's a sighting. Remember Fani Willis and Nathan Wade? All the fake stuff against Donald Trump in Georgia, and then she got caught, and judges are ruling with the Trump team, and she's been fined for doing things illegal in court. Yeah, well, guess what? Her and Daddy Wade were seen together at the airport. Oh, yeah, we don't have a relationship. Yeah, okay. All right. And Ghetto Crockett is getting put in her place. She's going to be censured, and she should be. This woman, after the show on Tuesday, then went and assaulted a news reporter. Yet the Democrats, nobody's condemning her. It's almost like they're afraid to say something because she's black and she's a woman. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this, how bad they are. Anyway, we are grateful for there. Donna says, what happened to the free-for-all shows in our conspiracy theory days? We'll get back into that. We can add some of those. Up? Eric Johnson, get ready to start in studio.
Say something amazing.
Eric Johnson, I had a dream about you the other night.
That's gay.
Not yet.
What was the dream?
You were playing the bass in my dream,
I do that a lot.
and there was smoke that was coming through, and lights were flying through.
That's my jam.
And the small people were flying on poles and flying through the air.
That sounds like the old days at the
pyrotechnics were moving through.
It's like the Hollywood casino days.
And then I saw Donald. Then I saw Donald Trump in the corner doing this. He's
yeah. And you put every monkey in your dream, didn't you?
Yeah.
Damn.
I took some of Joe's stuff before I went to bed. Man, that stuff ain't funny.
That's funny because I got a Mississippi Nights t-shirt.
Oh, how about that?
Is that right? That's where the monkeys used to fly around back in the old days. They did.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Johnson in studio. What's Platinum Rock Legends been up to?
Nothing.
I haven't heard much about you guys.
Isn't that weird? You're not the first person to say.
No,
we've
used to be all over social media.
I know we've taken a break, and we went through a thing where our management, we just said, yeah, we're not really interested in our management anymore. And then the guy booking our band, who was in the band,
I thought that was Chris Knight.
No.
He stopped by the studio on Tuesday while I was doing the show.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he have to say?
Nothing. He and his posse, because he travels.
I know
posse.
he does not come alone.
He came in. He had like 3 little henchmen behind him. He just walked into the studio. I'm sure he was looking to buy a plane out here since we broadcast live at Strategic Air Services, the best luxury airport hangar in the Midwest.
I mean, he didn't want to buy a plane. He wanted to look at a plane. I'm just going to look at it.
Maybe. We all know somebody like that too.
And he goes, "Oh man, where's my Coke? Let's go."
So
Coca-Cola.
Things are going well in the United States. Hey, you do a lot of advertising marketing. Have you heard people talking about vehicles in the tariffs? Because Trump yesterday doubled down on 25% imports on automobiles from Canada yesterday.
Here's what I don't understand about the tariffs. And I don't understand a lot about the tariffs.
Well, here, real quick, he's placing 25% tariffs on auto imports.
Yeah.
The White House says that it's going to foster domestic manufacturing, but could also put a financial squeeze on automakers that depend on global supply chains.
Yeah.
Trump said this will continue to spur our growth. We'll effectively be charging a 25% tariff. But here's what's happening, Eric. You have all these companies now coming to build their vehicles in America.
So there's this thing. I mean, there's common sense. So the North American Trade Agreement, which again, I don't know a lot about it, but here's the math. If the United States is, and this is what I understand, charges like 2%, 3%, 5% tariffs, that's a little itty bitty tax, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, when you want to put something into another country like Europe, they're like, oh, well, if you want to bring in your Chevy parts, it's a 70% tariff. Anyway, nice doing business with you. Okay, so that's been going on apparently for a long time. Okay, here's what I don't understand about liberals or independents or conservatives who have a problem with this. If there's a country over here that says if you want to bring your stuff in here, it's going to be a 50% tariff. And you're the United States, you go, okay, yeah, we just read the spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is put a 50% tariff on you back. Have a great day. Where in the hell is the problem? Is there a problem? The only way that this works is for a country like China, who says, if you want to bring something into China, there's going to be a massive tariff. If we bring it into your country, though, it'll be cheap. It'll be there's no tariff. You can buy a $20 item for $5. How good is that? When you go to the Vegas Strip and you want to get your porcelain Elvis doll, it's going to be so cheap. If you were to put tariffs on us, that porcelain Elvis doll would be expensive. Don't do that to your people. So it's a mind game. The tariffs are basically saying this. If you're Mexico, you can build alternators much cheaper than you can do in the United States. Number one, we tariff everything coming into Mexico. Number two, it's cheap going back the other way, and we can send it right to Ford or Chevy or whatever it is. And that's how the game has been going. So Trump is like, we're going to tax you.
Oh,
we're going to tax you the same as you're taxing us. May the best man win. And that's why car companies are going, so we can either pay $5 billion in tariffs, or we can pay $500 million to go make our manufacturing in the United States again, where we don't get tariffs.
Damn, Donna says an effing headlight for a Prius is over $400. Tammy, the stuff China brings in is trash.
It is.
Of course, we know that. Glenn says, by the way, loan interest on American-made cars is tax deductible proposed.
I don't know what that means. This is all accountant over my head stuff. But when I look at it at 30,000 feet, I'm like, if a country, I don't care what damn country it is, it could be Great Britain. If I look at a spreadsheet and I go, you mean this product that I just brought into my country, you're gonna charge me, or I'm sitting over there, you're gonna charge me 80%. Okay, I'll tell you what. Who's the guy that runs the Persian rug division? You are. How much do we charge? 3%? Guess what? You're just made 80% profit. That's how it has to work. Because ultimately, nobody wants to pay these amazing prices for tariffs.
No.
So everything will either A, come down, or B, people will start to build things back in the United States again. Hello?
That's the key. By the way, the White House, I wanted to add this in. The White House expects to raise $100 billion revenue annually.
And we could get rid of the IRS that way.
Oh, well, that's on the way too. The tax hike starts in April, which means automakers could face some higher cost and lower sales. But Trump is adamant, Eric, that the tariffs are going to lead to more factories opening in the United States. And that's what I start to see as well.
So it doesn't matter. If you start to make a car in the United States and the car company is always looking to bring its bottom line down, and how can we build this? How can we build this F-150 in the United States for a reasonable price without going back and forth over borders to get an alternator into the country, right? They will figure out how to make the F-150 $60,000, $70,000.
I agree.
Because you know what? In the marketplace, people can only afford what people can afford. So if you build 1 million F-150s at $100,000, no one's buying them. So you still need to go out there and try to figure out how to market and sell your American-made car, hoo-yah, in the United States. So it's all going to flush itself out, Vic. Trust me. But I remember the day when it was like, do you remember the outsourcing era in the 90s and the 80s when companies in textiles were like, they would have great textiles in South Carolina and North Carolina, and then we would have
I knew about South Carolina,
a thriving industry in textiles. Well, guess what? They did it cheaper over in India and over in Europe and all that. And what happened is those products went overseas very quietly, right? That is how you have to address that. I want you to do me a favor, Joe. I want you to go up. I want you to go up Illinois 55 or wherever to Chicago. And I want you to drive through these towns that were once vibrant. They were once colorful. They were once houses that weren't looking like the termites were about to bring them down. Mm-hmm. They were once working blue collar towns. I want you to do that. And then I want you to go a little farther and see how ugly the damn windmills are that are trying to power this thing. And I want you to go, this is America? There's nothing beautiful about this country anymore. And it's because...
Well, there can be. There's some of those things that aren't.
Well, it's because that's where the people have moved. They've moved to the Miami and they've moved to the New York City. But when you come to where we used to live, it's going the way of the dodo bird. It's crap. I've done it. I've been in PRL now for the last 15 years driving through these little towns, and they're dilapidated. And you know why that is, Vic? It's because the little plant that was making tools for whatever is now out of business.
Trish says, Eric, we have a governor that is a Democrat and hates Trump. Trish, I don't know that to be the case. I don't think that's
Who's that?
Kehoe. No, Kehoe.
Why does Kehoe?
Unless Trish is in Illinois.
Yeah, there's no way Kehoe hates Trump.
Mike just says, and this is the best thing. Mike says, step back, reset, move forward. What hurts now is going to lead to huge benefits later.
Yes.
That's life.
Have you ever had a computer, Vic, that kept doing the blue screen of death?
Yes.
That's where
I've got one of those.
That's where the United States is right now.
I've got one of those.
The United States is.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Trish.
The United States is a great piece of equipment. It's a great computer, but every now and then you get on it and the blue screen of death comes up and it knocks all your work out. And you're like, you know what they tell you to do? Man, you guys got to reset this thing and reformat it and then get back to, you got to start over. Yes, and then you have this amazing computer again. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. And you know what? We're going to bitch and we're going to moan and we're going to go, how dare you take away our cheap products from China? How dare you, close the border? We have to reset. We have to look at the country again with modern eyes, with AI in front of us, We have to look at the country through the eyes of the Gen Z, and we have to figure out how we're going to put this thing together for the next 250 years.
I'm happy where we're headed. Things are going damn well. Speaking of which, Eric, last night, and we'll show you this Kash Patel quote.
Yes.
Actually, we'll show you the, what do we got first? The quote or the video? Joe, whatever you want.
Quote.
Put the quote up. Kash Patel, I'm going to bed last night. I see this happen. Kash Patel is kicking ass as director. Pam Bondi is attorney general. Can we make that larger, Joe? Gosh, I'm getting older. My eyes are like Eric's now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Do you carry your bifocals around, right? Mine don't want. I need some better ones.
It sucks.
Breaking tonight. Let's go back to breaking tonight. I can report yet another successful operation from our brave field agents and regional partners in our ongoing mission to break the drug cartels. Earlier today, our team executed a takedown and arrested 22 members of a narcotics trafficking ring in Lubbock, Texas.
Awesome. One
who believed to be working with the Mexican cartels. I love the work, but I love the transparency. But Eric, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Then our FBI team did incredible work partnering with the Texas LEO and others. These are the operations that mean safer streets for American families, and we're just getting started. Okay, then after that, Kash Patel does a press conference with Pam Bondi.
I saw it.
To let everybody know that one of the leaders of MS-13, one of the most ruthless, violent gangs in the world, that they had taken down this leader. This is awesome to see our attorney general and Kash Patel out together.
Yeah.
And I love her in this hat.
First reaction.
Sorry, girl. Go ahead, Joe.
Is all of our law enforcement officers are safe. That was the number one thing. They're safe. They executed a clean, safe operation, and the bad guys in custody. And thanks to the FBI, we got one of the worst of MS-13 off the streets this morning.
We were able to be out here in force to show the American people, to be here in person, that this means a lot to her and the mission. Safety is our primary concern of these communities, and we effectuated that today.
First reaction.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
This is what we need. The transparency, the hard work, the success.
No.
And then show the American people what you're doing.
You know, it is when you think about, oh, well, that's the FBI. They're going to go in there, swat this guy out. It'll be all right. No. He's Mexican. But what if you go to the other side, the an Islamic extremist, and you're like going, we know what you guys are doing. We know you're building bombs. All of a sudden, the Allah Akbars of the world are going to ignite themselves in front of these FBI. So it is a big story to go, everybody came out safe.
Yes.
I mean, that's not like throwaway news. It's like, these are the worst of the
Thank
worst
you for
of
saying
the
that.
worst.
That's a great.
Well, it's the truth. I'm not saying every Islam or Muslim is an extremist, but if you're Kash Patel and you don't turn these blind eyes to these terrorist organizations like the Biden administration did, and you're going in there with a resolve, Vic, to bring them to El Salvador's most notorious these guys are like, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to bring out a few AK-47s and fire back. So saying that it was a safe mission, to me, is like part of the big news story.
No, it is. It's so damn fun to watch. So America having success. Yes, Biden funded them, which was sad. Appreciate that, Pro Joe, for letting us know. But in the midst of all of this happening, we have these lower court judges. Everything's going so damn well.
Yes.
So they're trying to create controversy. This whole Signal story.
Oh, my God.
Which has gotten more coverage by liberal, mainstream, left-leaning news coverage than Donald Trump's two assassination.
First of all, that's my biggest fear. I have two fears: falling off of a ladder, and number two, accidentally putting somebody who shouldn't be on a text thread on a text thread.
Yeah, but guess
those are my two worst fears ever.
But you see what is Laura Loomer's exposed. There was a wife who was a judge who oversaw. There's a wife of somebody who was on the text thread. She oversaw.
I did not know that.
She oversaw the J6 people. I'm just going to call them people.
Yeah.
Who were their court cases and put in jail.
Okay.
Her husband was a part of that.
I don't understand the correlation.
There's rumors now that she very well could have added this Atlantic reporter. At the end of the day, nothing wrong happened. Was he
Yeah,
added?
it did.
Was
I
he,
think so.
Was
It-
he?
it
Was he added? Yeah, he was added, but he wasn't added by anybody with good intentions. He was added by somebody nefarious trying to break down, create issues and problems.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But no
It's-
classified information was shared. No names were shared.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's the worst of the worst accidents ever, and it doesn't matter if you're CIA,
Total sabotage.
DOD, whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Trish. His name is Alex Wong. He's the advisor. Alex Wong and his wife are hardcore liberals, Biden supporters.
Why
and
is he on the text thread?
She is the one that oversaw the convictions of these J6ers.
Fantastic. Why was he on the text thread?
Because he has a position with the cabinet. Alex Wong is.
So-
I don't have.
So that's the next phase of the story. Then
It was
right?
sabotage. I agree with Jeannie. Total sabotage.
I agree. You're not. I don't know, man. The only thing I'm going to say, Jeannie, and I agree with you that it's far. If you had a logic,
Eric,
if
this
you had
is
a logic,
sabotage to
yeah.
take down Trump. It
If you
wasn't
had a-
by accident.
If you had a logic meter, and nobody knows, if you had a logic meter, you would go 70%. This was hacked. Somehow he got on there. It was hacked. But there's 30% of whenever you've put it, and I've done it, Vic, put a text thread group together, and you accidentally hit someone who absolutely should not be on it, and you go, "Oh, damn!
Never done that.
You've
It's
never
too-
done
no.
that,
Wong,
Joe? Come
Wong-
on, man. Tell me.
Wong is the
tell me the truth.
advisor. Wong is an advisor to Walz.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and nothing was done. I want to go here. Here's CIA Director Ratliff breaking this down yesterday, because this has already got. There were actual hearings and stupidity that was brought forward to the level that we never did for 2 assassination attempts against Trump.
Okay.
It's sad. Here, listen to Director Ratliff break this down, because this was all a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Eric, this is a nothing burger.
I know.
And here's Ratliff.
You know, there's so much talk about this Atlantic article and about things that were said and that could have happened instead of a focus on what did happen. So my responsibility as CIA director, one of its responsibilities is to kill terrorists. And that's exactly what I did along with President Trump's excellent national security team. That's what we should be focused on. With regard to that article, I also would appreciate the opportunity to relay the fact that yesterday I spent 4 hours answering questions from senators as a result of that article that were intimating that I transmitted classified information because there were hidden messages. Those messages were revealed today and revealed that I did not transmit classified information, and that the reporter, who I don't know, I think intentionally intended it to indicate that. That reporter also indicated that I had released the name of an undercover CIA operative in that signal chain. In fact, I had released the name of my chief of staff, who is not operating undercover. That was deliberately false and misleading. And I appreciate the opportunity to reflect that my answers haven't changed. I used an appropriate channel to communicate sensitive information. It was permissible to do so. I didn't transfer any classified information. And at the end of the day, what is most important is that the mission was a remarkable success.
Yes,
is
it
what
was.
everyone should be focused on here, because that's what did happen, not what possibly could have
We
happened.
can get out there, Joe. He was fantastic.
Two things. If this was a group of
Booyah.
if this was a group of DOD guys going at it over Google Gmail, then I would be like, this sucks. I don't know who the hell thought this was a good idea. But this is a government sanctioned app. This is a government approved app, and some dude got on it that wasn't supposed to be there. This is not. If it was
Eric, it was an inside job.
maybe
Trying to
it doesn't
take,
even matter.
It wasn't
It
even
doesn't
an
matter.
because you wouldn't have this guy who does what he
It doesn't matter.
does
Here's
with
what
the Atlantic.
the best thing Trump can do right now is go like this. If they bring up this thing in a
Yeah,
press
much to do
conference,
about
if
nothing.
you bring it up in a press conference, he just goes, "Did we address that?"
Yeah.
And then stare back and go, "Are we good?"
Tulsi Gabbard.
That's what I wouldn't even respond to it anymore. I would say,
They
Yeah.
won't. This is done. Tulsi Gabbard also addressed the issue yesterday as well, to set all these unhinged EDS, the Trump derangement syndrome, the Elon derangement syndrome. Tulsi puts people in their place again. Here's Tulsi Gabbard.
Contact the defense secretary or others after this specific military planning was put out and say, hey, we should be doing this in a skiff?
There was no classified material that was shared in that
So then if
signal
there was no
check.
classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. These are important jobs. This is our national security. Bobbing and weaving and trying to, filibuster your answer. So please answer the contact the defense secretary.
You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's like the Democrats are falling down a hill. Have you ever fallen down a hill when you were skiing and you couldn't stop? They're falling down a hill and they go, if you look down the hill, you can find a little pebble that you might be able to grab onto. Try to grab it. They're grabbing onto a pebble and they're going, oh yeah, that's a serious pebble. Let's address it. It's addressed. Anything else? Now the Democrats are trying to they're trying to hold on to this little pebble to stop their momentum going down the hill. And the pebble is too small, and the American people don't give a damn about this little pebble. They're like, oh, that's interesting. Classified information? No classified information. Okay. They're on to the next thing. Well, what was the next thing? We got an MS-13 gang member out of his sleep with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel in the middle of the night.
It's the biggest
That's
thing.
the next thing.
It is.
It's so stupid.
But then Caroline Levitt also addressed this and the final thing of this, put this to bed, is explaining who this guy is with the Atlantic and how this was all a setup, Eric, so that we know that this shit can never happen again.
Yeah.
Are the facts. The National Security Advisor has taken responsibility for this matter, and the National Security Council immediately said, alongside the White House counsel's office, that they are looking into how a reporter's number was inadvertently added to this messaging thread. We have said all along that no classified material was sent on this messaging thread. There were no locations, no sources or methods revealed, and there were certainly no war plans discussed. The Atlantic has even admitted this themselves. Their release of these internal messages validates the truth, which we have been saying all along. If this story proves anything, it proves that Democrats and their propagandists in the mainstream media know how to fabricate, orchestrate, and disseminate a misinformation campaign quite well. And there's arguably no one in the media who loves manufacturing and pushing hoaxes more than Jeffrey Goldberg. Goldberg is an anti-Trump hater. He is a registered Democrat. Goldberg's wife is also a registered Democrat and a big Democrat donor who used to work under who? Hillary Clinton. This is the same Jeffrey Goldberg who infamously lied about weapons of mass destruction to get us into the Iraq War, which cost trillions of dollars and thousands of American soldiers. And how else has Goldberg discredited himself? By absurdly claiming that President Trump was Vladimir Putin during the 2016 campaign, by peddling the Russia hoax that tried to hijack President Trump's first term, by inventing the suckers and losers hoax to help Joe Biden in the 2020 election.
We can get out there.
Yeah.
Caroline also went on to say, guess what? Congratulations, Goldberg. Congratulations, people. Elon's team is now going to be investigating and finding out who put Goldberg on the chat line. Thank you. This is what you have with transparency, and this is what you have with a guy like Elon and his team.
Nobody cares. Here's the deal. We just wasted.
No, we don't care, but you have to put these evil liberal elves in their place.
No, and I agree with that. But here's the thing. Is we have just now killed brain cells because the Democrats made us kill brain cells.
But they're not going to stop. They're going to continue to do that.
But here's the thing.
So you have to put those fires out.
It's kind of like if McGuire was having a war of words with Sammy Sosa.
Okay, you got to come up with some new ones.
We're
We're going all the way back to the 1990s, Eric.
All right. Give me your favorite two superstar athletes. Give me two different teams.
Let's go back to a more recent one with the NFL and a good one. I think of two legendary
Steph
people
Curry and
LeBron James.
LeBron. Okay, Steph
or Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
It's Steph. Let's go with Steph and LeBron. All of a sudden, LeBron has a shot at Steph Curry. Like he's not the GOAT. It's I'm the GOAT, and then after me it's Michael Jordan, and then after me it's Kareem or whoever. And then Steph goes, oh, let me retort. there's not one person who is Team Curry is going to think that he wants to go and root for LeBron James, and no one who is on Team James is going to go and want to root for Steph Curry. Those are hardwired sides, and that's what's going on here with the Democrats. The Democrats are throwing verbal bombs.
Yeah, you're never going to stop.
No way in the world is any of this going to make a Republican or even an independent go, oh, damn, I got to go become a Democrat now. I'm complete. I got to go and
no, but you got to
it's
put it
not
up.
going to happen.
But you got to stop it. They're trying to pick off Trump's appointees. And Eric, this is just one of the things that they're doing. Case in point with this.
I think don't you think it makes Trump look stronger when he goes, yeah, I saw it happen. And
yes and no.
No, you don't think that he can go and say that entire team is kick ass. Don't do that again. Anyway, next question. Don't you think that makes Trump look stronger?
But Trump came out last night and also said we have just now proved nothing has happened. We're doing the wrap up right now.
Even
it's
stronger.
Over. Yeah.
Don't you think that that's even stronger?
Yes, because they're not going to stop. Case in point, these lower level judges like Judge Boasberg, who is trying to stop illegal migrants.
Yeah.
Rapists, thieves, kidnappers from America being deported. Well, guess what's happening? Now, the Democrats are giving him, you have other judges trying to lower level. These are lower court judges trying to cause problems and then give the cases to whom? Judge Boasberg in DC.
I saw that.
Here it is. Yeah. Here's what Trump put out. And I'm glad he's so damn transparent. Quote from DJT. How disgraceful is it that Judge James Boasberg has just been giving a fourth Trump case, something which is statistically impossible. There is no way for a Republican, especially a Trump, to win before him. He is highly conflicted, not only in his hatred of me, massive Trump derangement syndrome, but also.
I don't have that one.
Okay, you didn't. I didn't know.
It's like a Mad Lib.
Because okay, a Mad Lib.
No, it's
so
great.
This is what they're trying to do. Lower court judges trying, and this is the game plan now.
But
we can't win fair. We don't have policy, so we're going to try to do these other little things.
Well, no, this is much different than Biden trying to pack the courts. Let's first of all say that. Number two, if you are the duly elected 80 million vote winning president of the United States, and you are being everything I want to do is going through the filter of this guy over here. How in the hell is that a constitutional thing? Not to mention, how do any of these people have standing in a court before this guy? The law of the land is, as I've come in, if you are an illegal immigrant and you are a MS-13 or a Trendeagua, or however you say it, then you are going to this amazing high security prison down in El Salvador. And then you have some judge who says, yeah, about that. No, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. Who gave you any authority over this situation? Who gave you any authority over this situation? This has got to be addressed. And maybe this is a good thing because you can wrap all of these little problems up in a big ball, take them to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court can once and for all say, yeah, these district judges are completely outside of their purview, and this is not going to, maybe this is a good thing that we can finally get it all taken care of once and for all.
Well, Speaker Mike Johnson, because of what they're trying to do in these lower courts, knowing that they legitimately can't override the president. They can't. All this is a
yes,
hiccup.
they are. No.
These are big speed bumps.
Okay.
Because eventually,
right,
this will go in Trump's favor.
Even Kagan said something. Liberal Kagan came out and said something about this.
Said what?
Said that a judge shouldn't have the power over
of course, the Supreme Court.
And she's a liberal.
Yeah, of course. All this is, they're trying to put a bunch of hurdles out there because they know
it's working.
Because they're running against a gold medal hurdler in Trump and his administration. So here's an analogy for you, Eric. So what they're doing is, instead of the regular 15 hurdles or whatever it is, they're putting about 50 hurdles out there. We're going to have to jump over 50, not 20. So Speaker Mike Johnson came out yesterday and said he is now considering eliminating federal courts to stop these federal injunctions.
Can they do that?
Absolutely, he can. 100%.
Well, there's news broken. You learn something new every day.
So that came out late last night as well. So,
well,
they're doing whatever they can at the lowest levels.
You can't have.
But you see the deceit from the Democrats.
No, it's like this. It's like if I am a super, Los Angeles Rams fan, but the opposing team gets to go and pick their referees, right? It's like, it's the Rams.
Well, that's what they're trying to do
Rams
right
versus
now.
Green Bay. The Green Bay Packers are going to bring in their favorite 7 referees, and they're all friends and family, and then all of a sudden they're calling pass interference on run plays. You're like, wait a minute, we didn't even pass the ball, and you just flagged me for a day. That is what's going on here.
Of course, that's what's going on.
And that's why I think AI. Look at me, Joe. Look at me in the face. I think ChatGPT would be a much better judge than a human being judge. If you could get the bias out of the ChatGPT, if you could get the bias out of the AI judge, because at least you could go, here's the merits of the case. You have to take all of this information now, and with the click of a button in 3 seconds, have your ruling. All of a sudden it says, the executive branch has the right to do whatever they want. They get the right policy. They had 80 million people. I do see this side over here, but it's outweighed. And then you have the real scales of justice. It happens to be a computer that put it together, but no human being. And we're finding that out, Vic. And this is the thing that's most disgusting to me, is that we can go to whether you're a liberal or a conservative, I can go to a judge, and I know that the scale's a little bit tipped over here. All I gotta do is push it down,
we saw this in New York. Eventually, truth wins
and
out.
We saw it in Florida. There was a Florida judge
in Georgia. The same old. Okay, but Abe says depends on who's programming the AI, though. Still,
that's exactly right.
Because that's what.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, Joe. Look at me, because I'm always talking to you, because he never believes what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
I think that every judge now, we need 2 sides. We need a conservative. You need to write yourself, say, I'm the conservative judge in this. And then you say, I'm the liberal judge in this. And you have 2 judges who are debating amongst themselves so that there's no bias. The 2 people have to come to a solution. And that's the answer, because one person can come from a socialist country, go to a socialist college, be socialist with their friends and family, and go, oh, I'm gonna side with Trump. No, that's not gonna work well in his circle, right?
Of course. Caroline Levitt also talking about how the Democrats are playing dirty, how they're lying, cheating, stealing, and it's just good to have our White House press secretary telling them to their face, we know exactly what you're doing. You're not going to get away with it. And you're certainly not going to lecture us about the Trump administration.
We're not going to be lectured about national security and American troops by Democrats and the mainstream media who turned the other cheek when the Biden administration, because of their incompetence, left 13 service members dead in Afghanistan, and not a single person in the previous administration was held accountable for that botched withdrawal. Joe Biden said, in fact, it was a great operation. That is despicable. It's unacceptable to this president and this Secretary of Defense. The National Security Advisor has taken responsibility for this inadvertent number being added to the messaging thread. But above all, we take the lives of our troops, safety, security, prosperity around the globe with the utmost seriousness.
Thank you, Caroline.
I think it should be illegal for a reporter, because this could happen. This could happen. What if it was the same reporter did get classified information and he released it, right? And you have to release it because it's your source. So what if I think it should be illegal to release sensitive communications on a platform. So if you are a reporter and you have been gifted this weird behind the scenes information and you release it, you're going to jail. Period. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. If you release the behind the scenes stuff of our war fighters or our lawmakers or whatever it is that's classified or sensitive, I'm not a big put people in jail kind of person, but this kind of stuff I am. Anything that messes with our national security,
100%,
like an open border.
I think we need to bring back public hangings. I'm going to say that. I've been on record saying that many times.
don't know how to respond to that. I mean, it was a deterrent, wasn't it? I think that
Absolutely.
It would probably be more humane than the guillotine. So.
No, we could no. Then the guillotine,
Yeah,
it's on, it's off, kind of a thing.
Well, there's no bodily fluids really exchanged in the public.
Yeah, but the
hangings.
bodily fluids don't cause any pain.
No, it just
the hanging
it's
from
the
your neck.
No, we're not worried about their pain. We're worried about what it looks like.
Oh, so you want to bring in the agony?
Well, I just said I thought that the hangings might be a little bit more humane than the guillotine.
I do think so. I'm a big deterrent kind of guy.
Why'd you take us down this path?
I'm a
Joe?
big deterrent. Well, no, I mean it's a good question because Trump is saying capital punishment for X. I mean, he's got a bunch of targets that he wants to have capital punishment put on, but it's something to think about. Is what's the deterrent for not coming over our border? Well, you know what it is? Kristi Noem's saying if you leave now, you might have a chance to come back. That's the deterrent. If you don't leave now, we're taking your ass out of here.
Jeannie
and you will
likes
never come
firing
out.
squad.
Who?
Jeannie wants a firing squad.
Yeah. Or you can just put
Robert says, hey, treason found, death penalty. Horrible death. Great deterrent. Of course it is.
I think for a reporter, if you release something and we will find you, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
You're going to have a nice jail cell. It'll probably be 5 years. Give you enough time to think about it.
I wanted Trump to put Liam Neeson on his cabinet. I will find you. We'll kill you.
Very good.
I think
isn't that Elon?
Kinda. He's the electronic assassin.
Yeah. Elon is going to make $5 billion off of the book of notes from all of the behind the scene government stuff. I hope he writes a book.
I just love the guy.
I hope he writes a book. I hope he writes a book about all of this. And the book is that deep.
And it would probably be done in like 2 nights.
Yeah.
If it was that deep.
Yeah, he'd use grok.
That's Eric Johnson. I'm Vic Faust, Pro Joe behind the scenes. Cancel this, canceltheshow.com. One thing that just pisses me off, being a former news guy, is seeing the federal funding that goes to liberal, elite organizations like NPR. NPR should not be receiving a penny of federal funding. And Donald Trump is looking at it. He's looking at taking political as well, looking at taking the funding.
Well, you know the background.
Yeah, NPR receives about $60 million a year from the government. 60. Not one conservative on their newsroom staff of 98.
No, they're like cute little liberals, though. They're like,
it's not like
MSNBC. It's not like MSNBC or CNN.
Eric,
They're
there's
kind of
no
like
such thing as a cute little liberal.
they're like 60-year-old pie making grandmas that have a microphone.
Well,
they talk about
Representative Brandon Gill had their leader, Catherine Maher, yesterday for questioning about NPR. People, this is what the Democrats did for so long, and this is what we're trying to clean up as conservatives. And thank God for Trump and his team and representatives for putting him in their place. Listen to the lies. This is the kind of thing that happens, like this guy from The Atlantic and then people from NPR.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved. Why did you tweet that?
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it. You said you took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. You put that on Twitter in January of 2020.
Apologies, I don't recall that I did.
Okay.
I'd no doubt that your tweet there is correct, but I don't recall that.
Okay. Do you believe that white people inherently feel superior to other races?
I do not.
You don't? You tweeted something to that effect. You said, I grew up feeling superior. Ha, how white of me. Why did you tweet that?
I think I was probably reflecting on what it was to grow up in an environment where I had lots of advantages.
It sounds like you're saying that white people feel superior.
I don't believe that anybody feels that way, sir. I was just reflecting on my own experiences.
Do you think that white people should pay reparations?
I have never said that, sir.
Yes, you
boy.
did.
Oh, boy.
Said it in January of 2020. You tweeted, "Yes, the North. Yes, all of us. Yes, America. Yes, our original collective sin and unpaid debt. Yes, reparations. Yes, on this day."
I don't believe that was a reference to fiscal reparations, sir.
What kind of reparations was it a reference to?
I think it was just a reference to the idea that we all owe much to the people who came before us.
That's a bizarre way to frame what you tweeted. Okay, how much reparations have you personally paid?
Sir, I don't believe that I've ever paid reparations.
Okay, it's just for everybody else.
I'm not asking anyone
Seems
to pay
to be what you're
reparations.
suggesting.
Right in front of you, dumbass.
Do you believe that looting is morally wrong?
I believe that looting is illegal, and I refer to it as counterproductive. I think it should be prosecuted.
Do you believe
to the
it's
full extent of the
morally
law.
wrong, though?
Of course.
Of course. Then why did you refer to it as counterproductive? It's a very different way to describe it.
It is both morally wrong and counterproductive, as well as being
You
illegal.
tweeted, "It's hard to be mad about protests," in reference to the BLM protests, not prioritizing the private property of a system of oppression. You didn't condemn the looting. You said that it was counterproductive. NPR also promoted a book called "In Defense of Looting." Do you think that that's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
I'm unfamiliar with that book, sir, and I don't believe that was at my
You
time at
tweeted
NPR.
that you read that book, but
I don't believe that I did read that book, sir.
do you think that
It's like a
a
firing
few
squad.
years ago NPR educated America about, quote, the whole community of genderqueer dinosaur enthusiasts? Do you think that that's an appropriate use of tax dollars?
I was not at NPR at the time, sir.
That's not the question, though. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of our tax dollars?
I think our tax dollars that we use are to be able to provide a wide range of
So I'll take that as a yes. You do believe that that's appropriate. Your health advisor at NPR also stated in an interview that, quote, fear of fatness is more harmful than actual fat. Would you like to explain how fear of fatness is more harmful than actual
Talk
fat?
about
That's
diabetes
directly,
and high
that's
blood
an
pressure.
editorial at NPR.
I am not familiar with the editorial, and I don't believe that was published during my time here.
It's called "Diet Culture is Everywhere. Here's How to Fight It." Do you think that that's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
I think any reporting on health is an appropriate use of
You've
taxpayer
spent-
dollars, yes.
And you think that editorializing that fat is not unhealthy is appropriate?
I don't know what that article is, sir, and I'm not familiar with it, so I
This
couldn't
is
say.
fake news. Do you think that basic accommodations like doorways or seat belts represent, quote, latent fat phobia?
I don't have an opinion.
It's
on that,
also
sir.
from NPR. Do you think civility is racist?
No, sir.
No. Your outlet ran an article entitled, quote, "When Civility is Used as a Cudgel Against People of Color." That was on All Things Considered.
Jeez.
Would you like to explain?
I'm not on the editorial side, sir. I'm not familiar with that story.
You talk about how NPR is news. This is editorialization, and I'll read it. "For many people of color in the United States, civility isn't so much social lubricant as it is a vehicle for containing them, preventing social mobility, and preserving the status quo." This is garbage. I'll spend all of my time doing everything I can to ensure you guys never get another dollar of taxpayer funding. This is complete garbage.
It is.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
He nailed it. This is fantastic stuff. I used to be in radio. My background is radio. I love radio. TV's vixing. Look at him. Anyway, radio is about the program director. Radio is about the manager, the main manager. You can't do anything on radio by yourself. Everything comes down from these twits right here.
Yep.
Here I'm talking myself into this. If it has to do with a partisan nature, judges, broadcasting, if it is in the public sphere anymore, we have to have someone on our side. I'm sorry. We do not trust the zebras anymore. The people who are
The referees.
We do not trust that when you come on the field, you're not going to have every call against us, we can't score a touchdown.
I love the transformation that you've made in the last
You're
2
supposed
years.
to get off the damn field.
Eric.
I'm not supposed to see you. That little yellow flag of yours, it better not come out.
So
You better let
can't
them play the
you
game.
You can't trust old government anymore.
I
can you?
can't.
Or old agencies.
It's not unfair for a judge.
I want to come over and give you a hug.
I'm fine with hugs. I don't think it's unfair that a judge has a way to think and he has his own his own views. What I don't think is fair is that you have a bunch of Ocasio-Cortezes behind the desk.
You do.
And I don't think that's fair. I think it's like, all right, the 9th district has 2 judges now, not 3, 2. And these 2 judges, they cannot leave the room until they come up with a decision. So there you go. You got and then you have a board of directors. The board of directors says it's not the president. This conservative is our person. And then they go, this liberal is our person. Boom. And if you're going to go and say we want an injunction against the president, at least you have someone representing the president in the robe.
Well, the chat line says apparently she has dementia and should be fired immediately. I could not disagree with that. By the way, that woman, that lying POS who stood there and lied yesterday, I don't remember. I just don't remember. I don't remember. Also said that it was concerning that all 87 of her editorial board members, all 87, are registered Democrats.
See,
and
Vic,
$60 million a year in funding.
I would be the same way.
Pull it now.
If NPR, National Public Radio, started in 1960 something, was put out there to moderate all of the things going on in society, Vietnam War, Jimi Hendrix, JFK, the Beatles. If that was okay, I understand your mission statement. That's a good mission statement. We're here it's a sounding board. You got to be fair. It probably was a little bit more fair back then. They probably leaned a little left in the Vietnam War stuff. I don't know. I wasn't there. But as time went on, the conservatives left NPR and went over to Rush Limbaugh. They went over to the conservative talk radio, which, by the way, was making a fortune back in the 80s and the 90s. An absolute fortune was conservative talk radio. It was a thing. And as everybody left NPR to go do that thing, the liberals it's just us. We can talk about whatever we want. And that's the problem. If I or you or Vic are putting our tax dollars in, I don't know what it is, we have the right to say, yeah, we got to turn this thing off. And if you want it to stay on, then go get your endowments and go make sure that Lululemon pays your bills or whoever's paying those bills over there. It's time, Vic, and I love radio. It's my favorite thing in the world. I wish that the Gen Z would listen to radio so that I could go back to work.
But we know radio's
dead.
But radio's dead.
It's dead.
Radio's dead. There's a couple stations that are fine, but radio's dead. That's why nobody puts real money into radio anymore, and the ratings have gone down.
The only thing I'll say about radio is where else can you get local sports talk other than radio?
Well, radio and FM radio. That's one of the ones that's doing well.
Even FM radio. If I want to listen to KC Classics, I can go to my iPad.
FM local sports radio. Yeah, but now you get them on podcast, all kinds of
I do
shows
think
on
that there's a place for political talk on radio still.
But the ratings are like in St. Louis, and I'm not trying to be mean, but radio stations, conservative radio in St. Louis.
I'm going down the hill trying to get a pebble.
It's dreadful.
I know.
It's dreadful.
Why you make me cry?
Local radio in St. Louis, political radio is dreadful.
I know. Podcast is where it's at. Every time I talk to my son, it's about a podcast.
It's bad. Yeah, Greg says KMOX, which was, we were beating KMOX with downloads here just about 6-7 months ago. We were beating KMOX.
Now, did KMOX?
They moved to FM.
I know they went to FM, didn't they?
Yeah, they're trying to survive.
I'm so sad about that.
Trying to survive. The days of yesteryear are over.
Yeah. Prairie Home Companion.
Hey, more of a positive note. Recruiting in the military is up big time. 2 months in. JD Vance went to Quantico yesterday. And I love the cheer that he got when he came to, this never happened with the previous administration. Listen to the cheer that JD Vance got when he showed up yesterday at Quantico for the Marines. Loved it. Booyah! Listen, that's gives me chills, baby.
Hurrah, Marines, how we doing? I got some good news. Over the last few years, some of the military branches had some recruitment problems. Not the Marine Corps, actually. The Marine Corps was the one branch that consistently met its recruitment goals, and that probably has something to do with the fact that the Marine Corps is a little bit smaller, as you all know. But this year, now, we have got every single branch of the United States military for the past 2 months has been meeting its recruitment goals, because I think I see in your faces what we're seeing all across the country. a renewed sense of patriotism, a renewed commitment to excellence, and that is what is going to make the United States military the strongest fighting force anywhere in the world. So thank you all. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for being part of 250 years of great American tradition. Thanks to you guys for being willing to put on the uniform and serve your country. I always say that the most important thing that we have in this country, the most valuable natural resource, we got plenty of oil, we got plenty of natural gas, we got great mines and minerals, but the most valuable resource that we have in the United States of America is you all. It's young people who are patriotic and dedicated, who are willing to put on the uniform of the United States and risk your lives to defend your fellow citizens. That's an amazing thing. I know it's easy to forget when you go about doing your jobs and you're just worried about getting through the day, worried about getting to the next week, worried about doing the good job that all of you do, that what you're doing is an amazing thing. And it's easy to forget that because you don't always have the Vice President dropping in to say thank you. But I want you to remember that whether you serve another couple years in the United States Marine Corps, whether you're at the beginning of a 20 or 30-year career, that we respect you, we thank you, and this Vice President and the President of the United States know that you guys are the most important resource that we have.
You know, that's right.
And Trump is trying to get them a raise right now as well.
It's like this. You had a football coach. If you were a football player and you were on trying to recruit people for your semi-professional football team, and you knew that the coach was like 90 years old and he was always in the locker room and he always made his dorky ass assistant coaches coach the team that didn't know anything about football, I'm not going to go play for that team. All of a sudden, the 90-year-old coach leaves, and this dynamic Dick Vermeil guy comes in, and he's amazing, and he's rah-rah, and he's got every single assistant coach that's even better than him.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about an analogy that has to do with football. You're going to have so many good football players want to play for you.
Yes.
Because it starts with leadership.
Hoorah!
Yeah, hoorah for sure.
We love to end on positive
Anchors
notes
away.
too. They did a quick video ad yesterday after his trip.
Who did?
The White House.
Oh, did they? Man, they're
yeah,
quick.
they are quick. That video team is sharp. 44 seconds of his visit to Quantico.
We care about excellence and we care about patriotism. And if you are awesome and you are a patriotic Marine, then we are going to do everything that we can to make you the most lethal fighting force the world has ever seen. And that is what we're doing every single day. No more quotas, no more ridiculous mumbo jumbo, no more diversity training. We believe the real strength and the real diversity in the United States Marine Corps is that you all come from every walk of life, come from every corner of America, and you have got the strength and the purpose to win the nation's wars, and that is what the Marine Corps is going to do, just like it's done for damn near 250 years.
You know what they should have done?
No more bullshit.
That's awesome. You know what they should have done? They should have flown the new F-47 over there from the United States Air Force.
By Boeing in St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you, Eric Schmidt. How badass is that ad? And
I don't get chills that often when I watch that, so I got chills. And
there is no surprise why recruitment in 2 months is up in every single branch.
I mean, will they have to start saying no to people?
Wouldn't that be a great problem?
Won't they have to start saying no to people? Like, we're closed.
God, we just got to get that with our local police force next.
You got to go to our practice squad military. Our farm club.
No, that's awesome. That's some damn good stuff.
It is. Good job, White House.
Thank you, man. We love it. We appreciate you guys.
Also, you didn't show the pictures of Kristi Noem in front of the cartel members.
But she's, I don't have
that. Is an interesting picture, man.
She does.
Hot chick from the United States in front of a jail cell full of 200 MS-13ers. It's kind of crazy,
Joe, can
man.
you pop it up? I saw it, but this was like from what, 2-3 days ago?
It was yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see it from yesterday.
Wait a minute.
I don't have it. I'll look it up.
Okay. It's Kristi Noem all dolled up, makeup, cap on.
She has never met a photo op that she has not liked. She's doing a photo op every day.
You know what? If you got it, use it. Right? If you got it, use it. And she's a badass.
No, she is.
She's a badass governor. She was a great governor. So, I mean, if you got it, use it. Every asset you have at your disposal, go. And you know what? She's walking by those gates or those cells and going, "You could have had this, but you had to put an MS-13 tattoo on your ass. Now enjoy the cell. Enjoy the view."
There
You got
it
it?
is.
Look at all those guys.
But what I couldn't was this real?
It is real as hell. She was down in El Salvador checking out the joint.
And I can't believe they didn't do anything disgusting in that picture.
They know that there's only one way down. They'll go to the bottom. The thing about this jail, this prison, apparently, is it's like,
wait a minute, was
it's
this
like
the one in El Salvador?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like instant discipline. If you do anything to mess with the status quo of this place, if you step out of bounds, Vic, they've got holes inside of holes to put your ass in. So if someone's out here,
we do have a badass team. I agree, Gene. I mean, what a great time to be. I mean, we knew we're back, and it's fun to say we're back. Not only are we back, we're back with a vengeance, and maybe stronger than ever.
Yeah. You know, it's like liberals think of these MS-13 and these gang members as brown recluses.
What do you mean?
Or they should, I should say. It's like if I have brown recluses in my house, and I do, I go and I go get them killed. There's not,
Eric.
but a liberal would say, "Oh, these little brown recluses have families. You have to give them a hearing before you go and kill those little assholes." And that's what I see here. It's like these are MS-13
and an EBT card
and an EBT card, yeah, and education. You got to educate a spot. You have to educate them not to kill you. And so that's how I see liberals looking at these gang members. It's like, they're they're brown recluse. Put them in a holding cell so they're at least not in the United States. What do you want to do with it? You want them to come to Broadway and go to a play with you or something? What do you want them to do?
Tanya says Noam's also going to be visiting other countries during her 3-day trip as well. Yeah, she is all over the freaking place.
I knew it was going to be kind of a rough takeoff with all of these cabinet members and with Trump. I knew he's got a team now.
Oh,
he did not have a team before.
It's a badass team.
He did. There's no Bill Barr in this bunch. There's no snooty ass rhino Republican.
Mike
in here.
Pence.
These are
who should never live down what he has done.
These are kids that have bought on to Trump mania. And that's all there is to it. It was a bumpy ride getting this plane off the ground, but now it's off the ground. And
bumpy.
You're gonna yes.
The 2 months it's been freaking soaring. There's been no bumps.
Wait for a half a year and you start to see this stuff in operational cruise control.
I can't even imagine it being better.
Really?
You're going to get tired of winning.
Wait 6 months from now.
It's going to happen.
And here's what I love about Trump.
I love Eric Johnson.
Here's what I love about Trump is he's not bombastic going after the media anymore. He's letting the kids run the roost. Have you noticed that? He's not doing anything. He's letting his team, right? Used to be he would get on with these guys and go after Jim Acosta.
He's doing things. He's got his. You're right.
Not like before.
Not like before. He doesn't have to.
And as a matter of fact, if a reporter these days,
this is like Trump Tower. He got to hire everybody.
If a reporter these days asks a stupid question, he goes like this. Vic.
Sessions, yes.
He goes like this. Vic. He goes, I don't know. Next question. He didn't used to do that before. He would fight for 45 minutes over stupid questions.
It's
true. Beautiful. It is beautiful.
Eric.
So what are we going to talk about tomorrow?
We're done.
I'm just saying we have got to get away from the negative touch. Maybe the next show is all positive. It's all
we do that every day.
Boom, 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 boom. It's just like it'll make you forget that stupid texting problem.
That's why I showed you JD Vance there. We always end on a good note, but it is opening day. And there's not a lot of expectations for the St. Louis Cardinals. I broadcast live out of the St. Louis, Missouri area. Yeah, because the whole situation right now is not a very exciting one because the Cardinals aren't expected to do much. Maybe 500. Yeah. Opening day in St. Louis, and we're like, yeah,
but those are the teams you got to watch out for. When you have the all-star teams, you have everything to lose. When you have nothing to win. And you start winning, you go, oh, like the Blues, they came out of nowhere to kind of get back in it.
Hey, by the way, wanted to let you guys and remind you, we haven't promoted it in like a month. I just want to let you know we are still selling Mount Trumpmore statues. That's an 8.5 by 5.5 inch little statue that belongs in your house or your favorite liberal's house or your favorite friend's house.
What a great Christmas gift.
It's literally
Oh my God.
$49.99.
Hey.
Many of you have purchased it already. You go to meshingwellliving.com. Once again, meshingwellliving.com, meshingwellliving.com. Get one of those. Check them out. Hell, we even had somebody who bought 4 of them like 2 weeks ago.
We need to put a American flag on the back of it. This would be a perfect 4th of July thing.
Oh, that would be nice.
It would be in every bar you go into. It'd be a great thing. As a matter of fact, this thing is like, it's a little statue. We need a huge statue that you can actually climb up on. Little kids. We should be in a playground.
So check it out, meshingwellliving.com. Also grateful for Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley for supporting us. 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Work hard, play hard. Wendy's, I mean, literally has like 9 of your favorite foods there. Just mouth-watering foods. It is the best bar food you're going to find anywhere. Absolutely amazing. What Marla has done with her food choices and her food distributors, where she gets her food from. Special thanks to Capriati's. Somebody told me they went into Capriati's yesterday and loved it. I love their Philly cheesesteak, their Wagyu beef, the fresh roasted turkeys. Check it out, Capriati's. Also, Jonathan Heslop, who supports tons of conservative causes, owns it. It's one of the best sandwich shops in America. He wanted to bring it to St. Louis for you. Go in, let him know you appreciate him supporting. Cancel the show.
Someone needs to bring Emo's Pizza to Lake
Rock
Sherwood.
It's in Rock Hill, open 9 to 9. Also, somebody bought the Rockwood charcoal. It's the best charcoal.
Nice.
It's all natural. You take a piece of the charcoal, break it apart in your hands. You know it doesn't have the fillers in it. When you can't do that, it's got the fillers in it. You don't want to burn that stuff over your food. It's 2025. We're healthy. We're trying to be healthier. Live longer, better lives, and you can do that with Rockwood. And get your real estate issues together. Megan Livingstone. That's megan.livingstone at exprealty.com. More people are buying. More people are selling. Not what we want, but it is there. Get your plan together. Give her a call, 314-249-1708, 314-249-1708. Before we get out of here, Eric, are you and Platinum Rock Legends playing anywhere this weekend?
No.
Okay.
And being in a rock band is not like riding a bike. The longer you don't do it, the more you lose.
Really? So you're
I'm
going to be
little
rusty.
worried.
You're rusty your first show back.
A little
out.
bit, yeah. Gotta go exercise.
Exercise.
My knees are a little stiff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Will you still fit in the spandex?
I hope.
Okay.
I hope. I got butter. I got oil.
You can get the Rockwood at Ace Hardware. That's where Todd says. Go into Ace Hardware to get his charcoal. Guys, we appreciate you jumping in for canceltheshow.com. For Eric Johnson, thank you so much for coming in, Eric. You rock. Wish we had a band performance to promote for you.
I'm not worried about that.
If anybody's looking for a bassist this weekend, Eric's off.
I am available.
He's open.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't do polkas or country.
Maybe you can come try out for somebody. When's the last time you tried out for a band? When you were 19?
No, usually it's an emergency. Hey, can you be in Philadelphia in 3 hours? Here's the set list. Good luck.
For Pro Joe, I'm Vic Faust, guys. Thanks for joining us today. God bless America. We'll talk to you next time.